Never stop improving. Jump into our Q&A show featuring myself and Matthew Hayson to get out in front and stay out in front. Only available on the Josh Phegan membership.
The conditions change and you as an agent, you need to adapt. And what we've worked out is that media is kind of like our best friend and our greatest foe all at the same time. And how do they do that? Well, the basics is that whenever the market's not going that well, all of a sudden we've seen every single person become an economist and give you an opinion about what's going to be happening in the Australian real estate market. And that's been a real challenge because all of a sudden prices are going to go down by 20%. We're in a position now that we won't see any more than 7% growth in the course of the next 3 years. We're at the bottom of the cycle. No, now we're approaching the bottom. Actually, you know what? We're in recovery. And it's kind of like feeling like there's a ton of information. But as an agent, you've got to learn to adapt because all of a sudden we see a huge number of buyers coming to open for inspections. We sell properties in the inner city in a position that they're selling above reserve, sometimes by $50, $100, even $700,000. And whenever those articles go in the paper to show that a property sold so much above an owner's reserve, guess what happens next? Owners' expectations start to grow. And all of a sudden we're in a position that we've got fueling vendor expectations around pricing. Now, why is this an important conversation? Well, it's about learning where the economy is going and what to do next. Some of the foundations of the economy are in a position that they're a little turbulent. And those little things that we're talking about, the changes around what's happened with interest rates, APRA in a position that they've made some changes to the assessment rate, and also in addition to that, the movement towards the first homeowners deposit scheme that's coming in on the 1st of January. Now, these are all great positive things, but guess what? There's some turbulent winds ahead. The government is in a position that through the RBA, they don't just reduce interest rates because they think the economy is rapidly flying. What they're saying is there's some problems around growth. There's not enough inflation, there's not enough wage growth. And if there's not wage growth, then all of a sudden people can't be spending more. And if they can't be spending more, then how are they going to increase how much money they can spend to buy properties and to fuel the level of pricing? So this is actually the challenge. What we've got to realize is that whilst we're in a little bit of a bubble because there's not as much stock available and because we're in a position that we've got more buyers coming to open for inspections, that's creating this situation that we're seeing some fueling price growth. Now, some of the indicators from the economists are saying that they were expecting in like Melbourne and Sydney, maybe 6 to possibly 7% price growth over the course of the next 3 years. We've seen that in the course of the last 8 weeks. And this is the important part. It can't go at that rapid rate forever. So what you need to do is you need to get prepared. And the easiest way to get prepared is to make sure that you're finally tuned in to what's happening in the market day by day, play by play. And the reason I say that that's incredibly important is that you need to learn to adapt because that's how quickly it changed post the election and it's how quickly it can change again. If all of a sudden we see a flood of new stock come to the market, then what are we going to be doing in order to be able to deal with that and still get those properties sold? So just be conservative in your approach. Realize that this is the balance where off-market is a great tool to be able to give some great buyer feedback directly to the owner so that when you're going to market, you can make sure that the appropriate quote has been set to put you in the position that we can make sure that that property actually sells. And this is the skill set, learning how to play with the conditions of the day, but also learning how to anticipate the change so that you can help your owners to be in the very best position to maximize their sale price. The more we do that, the better we play the game, the more customers that will use you. And that's all you have to do. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.